Sometimes we have to improvise and get the props up.
What is possible for me is possible for you. Frederick Douglass. I can visualize his voice saying these words as I stood last week in front of about 60 young men. He said, no matter how challenging the circumstances that you are, you can be able to rise up to the occasion and make a difference. Frederick Douglass, he said, believe in yourself. And then he said, educate yourself and prepare for any opportunity. And then his third point was, use all the power of spoken and written words or language to effect positive change for yourself and society. Frederick Douglass was a firm believer in equality of all people. Brother Brock, even before people talked about women equality, he was fighting for it. And this is what Frederick Douglass said. He said, I will unite with anybody to do the right thing, and with nobody to do the wrong thing. Frederick Douglass. I saw this and it inspired me. Frederick Douglass stood at the podium, trembling with nervousness. Before him sat a group of aborigines who had come from all over to this island of Massachusetts called Nantucket. Frederick Douglass was only 23 years old at that time. But you know what he did? Frederick Douglass overcame his nervousness, and he gave a sterling and eloquent speech about his life as a slave. You know, the rest is history. He continued to give speeches for the rest of his life, and he became a great spokesman on the abolition of slavery and the racial equality. You think you have it hard? I think I'm having a hard time? No. Frederick Douglass was born in a slave cabin in February of 1818 on eastern shores of Maryland. After a few weeks, he was separated from his mother to be raised by the grandparents. And guess what? After 6 years, the grandmother took Frederick Douglass to a plantation and left him there. He says, and I quote, he never recovered from that betrayal. As a houseboy, the mistress taught him the alphabet. But when the husband found that his wife is teaching this houseboy how to read and write, he told him to stop because it was illegal to teach black people those days how to read and write. But you know what? Douglass was not going to let anything limit what his aspiration was. He took it upon himself to teach himself to read and write. And at the age, mark this, at the age of 12 years old, he got this great book called the Scholar Book, that's called the Kalobi, is learning how to speak. So he started learning how to speak at 12 years old. He's a pretty creative young man. He learned away impersonating as a sailor. This is what inspired me when I heard the word New Bedford. Frederick Douglass led away and came to New Bedford, and I said, wow, I know New Bedford, you know what I'm saying? That's sounds pretty good. And Frederick Douglass started hard at work. He started a newspaper. You talk about 18. He started a newspaper called North Star. And our President Abraham Lincoln had to take notice of this guy who had not only an awesome oratorical and great way of giving speeches, but also he could be able to write. And Abraham Lincoln, when he got elected as a president in 1860, in 1861 he started working with Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. And they worked so much hand in hand to the degree where, I mean, Frederick Douglass was helping to recruit the black people to join the army. Frederick Douglass became an author. He wrote, in fact, one of his autobiographies was a bestseller. I mean, selling 40,000 books in those old days was like a bestseller. Frederick Douglass embodied those three key points that can help each one of us to be able to succeed. You know, you got to believe in yourself. Before people can be able to believe in you, you got to sell yourself. And how do you sell yourself? You got to be able to project yourself in a positive way. Sometimes you can feel a little bit nervous, but it's a question of channeling that energy in the right direction. Frederick Douglass is our example. And the key thing is exactly what we are doing here. I mean, it's awesome that we are here trying to educate ourselves. Frederick Douglass became an awesome speaker not because anybody taught him, but he taught himself. So we are, in fact, one step ahead. You're just in the right place. And you know what? We get the power of the spoken ones and the written ones, and we don't do anything with it. Frederick Douglass did something about it. He went out there. He decided the fact that his parents abandoned him, that was not going to limit what he was going to be. He went out and made a change. So, Frederick Douglass' life is a remarkable testimony to the influence that you and me can make in the life of others. Thank you.